Well, welcome back to my channel. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch my videos. Today, I have another installment of the Versus series. If you're not familiar with what the Versus series is, I'm taking trail cameras, usually 2 trail cameras, pinning them head to head and directly comparing them. I'm going to be taking them out into the field, setting them up side by side and testing the trigger speed, which one triggers first, which one has the best quality photos and videos. It's always a lot of fun, but today I'm especially excited. Inside this box is going to be one of the most unique Versus video I did yet. I really do believe you're going to be interested in sticking around. This should be a ton of fun. If you're interested in watching a playlist of the previous Versus series, drop down in the description. I'll put a link to a playlist down there. But first, let's check out what's inside this box. Which trail cameras are we going to be comparing today? So that's right, yes, 3 trail cameras. We're going to be pinning 3 trail cameras, directly comparing them. We're not going to stay in here much longer. We're going to head out and start doing some testing. But first, I want to tell you which 3 trail cameras I chose and why. It was a very sophisticated process to pick these 3 trail cameras. I found myself on Amazon. In the search bar, I typed trail camera. The results came up, a couple of thousand different search results. I filtered those results and I priced them from the lowest to the highest. I simply picked the 3 cheapest cameras I found on Amazon. First, we have a Whoa Sports. It's a 12 megapixel trail camera. It's capable of taking 1080p video, and this is the most expensive trail camera out of these 3, $34.99. Next, we have the ever famous Tasco 8 megapixel trail camera. Walmart probably sold millions of these trail cameras. This I found on Amazon for $28.99. This is an 8 megapixel trail camera, but I can't seem to find anywhere where it says what the video size is. I'm assuming it's 720p or 1080p. I'm just not sure, but we will find out. Lastly, it is the HIAO trail camera. This was the absolute cheapest. This was $25.99. This trail camera is advertised at 5 megapixel and it takes 720p video. Next, I'm going to be getting these trail cameras out of their boxes. I'm going to be putting in identical SD cards, the same brand in each one, 32 gig cards. I'm also going to be putting batteries in each of these 3 trail cameras, but then we're going to be heading outside where I'm going to be doing some real world testing. We're going to be mounting these trail cameras right on top of each other and testing which one of these is going to have the fastest trigger speed, which one's going to have the best photo or video quality, how about the furthest detection range. All that we're going to be testing in a real world scenario. You're going to want to stick around, see who's going to be the winner of the ultimate cheapest trail camera on this series of Versus. One last thing before we head outside, I found it interesting that all 3 trail cameras came with virtually identical strap, but there are some differences. The Whoa Sports here only takes 4 AA batteries. The Tasco takes 8 AA batteries, and the HIAO takes 2 lithium rechargeable batteries. They're size 18650. That's pretty unique, and I'm going to share with my final thoughts whether I think that's a positive or negative. Also, the Whoa Sports and the Tasco take full-size SD cards, while the HIAO only takes a micro SD card. But seriously, enough talking. Let's get out and test. So I made it outside here. I hope you can hear me. It got to be about 15 to 20 mile per hour winds. I got the cameras mounted here as closely as physically possible. I tried to keep the lenses as centered as possible. I have an orange cone there, and back there is definitely a farmer rigged deer. I'm going to be using that decoy on a wheeled cart. Of course, I have some baler twine. No farmer project is complete without baler twine. I'm placing this cone at 15, 30, and 45 feet away from the camera. We're going to pull our deer in front of these cameras, and then we're going to see what for results we have. I have each of the cameras on picture mode, and they're going to take 3 photo bursts. So I think I have all the settings correct. We're going to set up our cone at 15 feet to start with, and we're going to start pulling this deer decoy in front of the trail cameras. deer target was a total fail. I don't know if it was the cheap camera problems or just that there wasn't enough body heat there, but none of the trail cameras triggered or very rarely triggered. So I'm going to reenact the test. This time I'm going to physically do the walking, and hopefully we'll have better results to at least be able to compare with the deer. The camera's only tripped once or twice total out of all the testing, and you really couldn't get any comparison whatsoever. So let's set it up again, and I'm going to try walking this time. Well, that concludes the daytime photos and videos. I'm going to come back out here after dark, walk in front of them some, just so you get a sample of what the photos and videos look like at nighttime. I'm not going to walk at each of those distances. It's going to be a little bit skewed because of all three IRs go at the same time. It's not going to give a great representation anyway, but I definitely want to show you what the photos and videos look like from each of the trail cameras at nighttime. After that, it's going to be time for my final thoughts. Who is going to be the ultimate winner of the cheapest trail camera on Amazon? Is it the camera you picked? Time will tell. Please stick around. Well, it is time for my final thoughts. I'm going to give my opinions on these three trail cameras. I've been finding this experiment extremely interesting. Just being able to take the cheapest trail cameras I can find and seeing how they actually work and what kind of results you can get. These cameras are virtually affordable to anybody, and you may be able to afford a lot more expensive trail camera, but maybe you're looking for a camera that you're going to be putting into a high theft area. It's a lot easier to lose $25 or $30 camera versus a $100 camera. There's many different reasons why you might be looking for a budget-friendly trail camera. These are definitely budget-friendly. Let's start with my opinions. This is the HIAO. There are many different names from what I can tell that this trail camera goes by. The telltale sign is always this wee little wing nut down at the bottom to open up the battery tray, and the fact that it takes the two rechargeable batteries, the 18650s. That makes this trail camera very unique, but it does come in as the cheapest trail camera of the three. So for the price point, $25.99, this trail camera wins in the price point category. Now, the rechargeable batteries, that brings up another case on that would be a con for this trail camera. Not everybody has access to those batteries. I happen to have quite a number of them. Many different devices that I already own take that type of battery, from night vision to flashlights. So having those batteries was not a problem. If you do not already have those batteries. To buy a set of those batteries plus a charger, it's not going to make this trail camera near as budget friendly anymore. You're going to be spending almost as much on the batteries as what the actual trail camera cost. So keep that in mind. The other huge con for this trail camera is there is no menu, there's no screen or anything like that. There is simply an on-off button. You might ask, how do you set what the mode is, whether you want to take picture or video? Also, to set the clock, you have to go onto a computer, set up a file. There's a code in the instruction manual that you have to enter this certain code, save it onto a file, put that file onto the SD card, insert the SD card. That is how you actually change the mode and set the time. Absolutely a deal breaker. That is absolutely miserable, especially in my testing when I wanted to switch it from video, put it over on a photo, vice versa. I literally had to stop, get the card, take it to a computer, set up that file. It's a no-go. I don't care how cheap this trail camera is. I did not enjoy that part of it. Another con for this trail camera is, out of the three, it had the absolute worst photos and videos. It really was poor. In fact, at night, I could hardly see anything whatsoever. The daytime quality, it was not good either. So for the picture quality, this definitely came in dead last. So probably not a trail camera I would buy. I definitely wouldn't recommend it just because of trying to set up the file to get the date right and to change the modes. Who wants to do that? Couple that with the batteries that aren't standard. They're not AA like most other trail cameras. That's a con. And then top it off, to have the absolute worst photo quality along with the video quality. Now these are budget friendly cameras, so you're not expecting crystal clear footage, but this, in my opinion, was totally unacceptable. Not a camera I would recommend. Next is the WoSports Mini. This trail camera was the most expensive, but it still was $34.99, which makes it an extremely budget-friendly trail camera. It was the smallest and most compact of the three, so for physical design, I would say the WoSports wins. It does have a place for a security cable, so that's a huge plus, whereas this trail camera did not have that. This takes 4 AA batteries, and it takes a full-size SD card. So if you don't like messing around with the mini SD cards, this camera would be good for you. This camera also has a tripod mount on the back, a 1/4-20 mount. So this camera has security and different mounting options. I give it the win out of these three for the physical design of the trail camera. The menu of this trail camera is pretty intuitive. It's not that hard to navigate. And in fact, I found it interesting. It is virtually identical to the Tasco. These two menu setups on these cameras are virtually identical. So if you have either the WoSports or the Tasco, the menu is going to be the same. Now this camera was the only one that offered 1080p video. The picture and video quality was definitely better than this trail camera. I'm not sure it was the best of the three, but it was real close. This Tasco and this WoSports were running neck and neck in quality. The 1080p, I couldn't tell a huge difference between the quality of this 1080p and the 720 over here on this Tasco, but definitely a step up for quality. You could easily see what was going on both day and night. The other positive and the definite win for the three was the trigger speed. This WoSports trail camera triggered first virtually every time. If you look at the nighttime photos and videos, they would get a little washed out when all three of them had the IR going, but this one was, every time that I could see, was the first one to click on. Then the other two would shortly follow right after this one. But for trigger speed, I would say this was the absolute winner for that. So we got compact size, a win there. We've got trigger speed, this one wins. It's just not quite the best quality photos and videos. Let's move over to that one for this. So lastly, we do have the Tasco here, and I have alluded to that. I think this was the winner in the overall picture and video quality. at nighttime and daytime, it was the best quality. At night, I was pretty impressed with the actual quality when compared to these two trail cameras. This trail camera also takes a full-size SD card, and like I already mentioned, the menu is pretty easy to set up. This camera also takes AA batteries. It takes 8 AA batteries. I think those 8 batteries would definitely give you extended life. This 4 batteries, just because it's such a compact trail camera, you're going to be suffering if you're going to want to put it out for long periods of time. It only simply has 4 batteries, so it cannot be expected to last as long as what 8 batteries would. So I probably would pick this Tasco as the overall winner. As you can tell, each of them have some of their strong points, some of their weak points. This trail camera definitely had not many strong points. One thing that I did want to mention, I forgot, was this is the only trail camera out of these 3 that have 940 IR bulbs. These are both running the 850 spectrum bulbs, and the 850s you get a faint red glow at night. If you're looking directly at those cameras, you can see the red at night. With these 940 bulbs in this one, this is absolutely pitch black at night. You do not see any light being emitted from this trail camera whatsoever. So that is a plus for this, but with the totally unacceptable photos and videos at night, what does it matter whether you can't see it or not? You're not going to be able to see, even if you're using it in security and you don't want anybody to see it, you're not going to be getting any usable video or photos that you could even identify what the object is. So keep that in mind also. So those were my opinions. It depends what you're looking for. Like I said, the Woe Sports is pretty close. It has a very compact design. It has the security measures and the 1/4-20 mount. Acceptable nighttime and daytime quality. I just think personally I would probably pick the Tasco out of these 3. It was a real close toss-up though between these 2. What's your opinion? You saw the footage. Which one did you think was better? I'd love to hear from you. Please put your comments down in the comment section. I try and get back to each and every one of you. If you have any questions, I'll try and answer those the best I can. I'll be putting links to each one of these 3 trail cameras down in the description. If you want to check out more information about them, you can follow those links. Maybe you're interested in purchasing a budget trail camera for yourself. Well, I appreciate you watching. We'll see you in the next video.